Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new update both on Celsius and Voyager that's ongoing as of right now. So we're going to actually have two really big news stories. I'm going to go and probably start off with the Voyager one first, and then we're going to go talk about the Alex Mashinsky, who has now been technically resigning, but as well with a lot of these same strings attached. Technically not, and there's actually a little bit of drama going on with that one too, and also a reminder, there is a Celsius Town Hall meeting that should be ongoing as of tomorrow, so in case you guys are curious on the YouTube side, I'll probably do a recap slash, gonna give my thoughts on it at some point throughout the day, so if you guys want to subscribe for that or a little bit more Voyager updates, feel free to, if you guys want to in the channel itself. I've been trying my best to be helpful and give thoughts and all that stuff on the channel itself. But anyone who is coming here from the Celsius side, I do want to go and talk about this, because this actually will probably be a somewhat, maybe, similar structure when it comes to how these businesses may get sold, and as well, I actually might push a little bit of a disagreement, but of course, if you guys want to give your thoughts or comments or disagree with my own disagreement, feel free to. I always kind of feel like it's best to have a good proper discourse for everyone out in the open, so everyone can kind of see like the pros and cons of every situation. So we're like I said, first and foremost, going to talk about the Voyager sale for FTX and why it could be good, why it could be bad, and then we're going to talk about the Celsius drama right after, so make sure you guys are subscribed if you guys want. So very first and foremost, in case you guys are new, basically, if you guys saw a chance to see, Voyager was sold officially for $1.4 billion. Now, I could be completely mistaken. If you guys want to, leave a comment down below, but I feel like the bid itself was valued at $1.4 billion, but in theory, it's only like a $100-ish million bid, mainly because you already have like $1.3 billion in assets from Voyager itself. So it's not like this is like a huge $1.4 billion, like, oh my god, that's a lot of money. I think it's more so just like a one-to-one conversion of the assets already on the, based on the website, you're basically normal crypto holdings for the creditors, and then a little bit of more money, extra money tied on in. Now, we still have not had the official statement of what they're going to do. Some folks are concerned about the VGX token. Some folks are curious on if there's going to be any equity involved. If you guys are part of the Celsius market, I know Celsius has been pushing equity very heavily. If there's not a chance to fill that hole, a lot of folks are assuming you should either be putting equity into the lending business, like the loans business, equity then, and also in the mining business, and then as well, maybe also then giving out your full-on assets to whatever Celsius is currently holding. So basically, you would get the whole of whatever they have crypto-wise, and then they'd also do, like I said, equity in the mining business, equity in the loans business, and then maybe even equity in the whole business, depending on who would want to buy it, what's going on with the businesses, and all that type of stuff. Voyager, on the other hand, I believe is just taking a full-on FTX monetary buyout, where it's like I said, a $1.4 billion total, so it's around $100 million extra. And then from what rumors have been stated, this could be up and change on here, that FTX will move those same customers to their own platform and then allow them to either withdraw or do something else with their cryptocurrency. We don't know the specifics as of yet, just a lot of rumors too. So we're going to have to kind of go and see what kind of happens or if there's any objections and all that type of stuff. But as well, on that same concept too, some folks are actually pushing the same idea for Voyager also giving out equity, similar to how like Celsius folks like to do it. Now, I think the big distinction is some folks just want to be out of the mess and they just want to get their money and they just want to be done, which I completely understand. Some people need to get bills paid. Some people have retirement money, housing money, investment money, or even crypto they maybe even want to sell. I totally, if they want that money, I think they should have that money. I'm also, but for at least for my own take too, and I don't think there's a wrong side, just different takes on it. I'm usually pretty long on crypto. So for me, I'm actually someone, if I could have my money back, because I do think either way you would get your money and assets back, like that $1.4 billion, you would get that back either way, or 1.35, I think it is, I can show you guys in a second. You'd get that money back either way, and then I wouldn't mind having equity, because I do believe the trading, the actual crypto exchange was profitable. The lending, which was the big issue, which caused the bankruptcy in the first place. So it's kind of been a 50-50. I definitely saw some folks, if you guys look up on the Invest Voyager 2 as well, I even made a thread down below, but you have this, we actually have all the assets too, so you guys can see with this, where they have the total equity involved. You guys can kind of see the total liabilities, which is $2.1 billion, and then the total assets, which as you guys can see right here is $1.36 billion too. It's a little bit on the different side too, because there's a few different types of companies, I believe, depending on what's holding assets and what's not going on with this as well. But there's also been a few other various things too, such as Simon Dixon, who is a pretty big component of pushing this equity side, especially in the Celsius side, stating, if I were an Invest Voyager creditor and an FTX official did not give me a plan to make me whole, I'd push Voyager UCC hard to get equity. FTX, you pledge to give 90% of your money to causes. Spoken to many whose lives were ruined by this. Why not fill their hole? Win-win. And I'm in the same boat where I do kind of feel like the deal's not bad. It's technically better than like what you're getting right now. I believe also someone too in the Reddit comments, I'd have to look into it more, also did say that there's also that cash equity part, which would also be distributed to as well. Or not be distributed if it was just like a peer chapter, like a chapter 7 or chapter 11 peer restructuring with like no monetary gain from FTX, which I could also see that maybe being somewhat of a value as well. But I don't know, I'm more of an equity guy, and I think I'd rather have money in the stock itself or in the brand new restructured company, although I do know a lot of folks that actually had the stock too had a lot of issues as well. So this kind of ties into the Celsius side too, because let's say you're in Celsius, that company was always private, so it had private equity investors, doing basically funding rounds. While Voyager is slightly different because it was already public, so I could definitely maybe see someone who had the stock or had a lot of VGX just being like, I just want to be done, or just let me get my money out of it. While Celsius, and they never had a chance to do private investing, I can probably maybe see the distinction of why someone's on the separate side for that. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments down below. Like I said, I'm more of an equity type of guy. I'm long crypto, and I also just don't mind. But like I said, some folks maybe just want to have money for their kids, for retirement, for houses, or just don't want to deal with the stress and the mess and the updates. Totally agree on that one. It's kind of like, I think it's just a difference on what you kind of want in the long term. But as well as you guys have probably heard on the Celsius side as well, Celsius actually did have a pretty big news break that their current, big CEO was essentially stepping down. So, but it's actually a little bit more of a not full-on step down. It's a little bit more different because I think he's still involved in the company, and that's kind of where it kind of catches you a little bit. So we have a lot of things like Business Wire stating, Celsius Network CEO submits letter of resignation. Celsius Network CEO Alex Mashinsky has submitted his letter of resignation effective immediately to the Special Committee on the Board of Directors of Celsius Network Limited. He states, I elected to resign my post as CEO of Celsius Network today. Nevertheless, I will continue to maintain my focus on working to help the community unite behind a plan that will provide the best outcome for all creditors, which is what I have been doing since the company filed for bankruptcy, Mr. Mashinsky said. He continued, I believe we'll all get more if Celsius stay united and help the UCC with the best recovery plan. I will remain willing and available to continue to work with the company and their advisors to achieve a successful reorganization too as well. Now, I'm going to be honest, I think Alex definitely screwed over a lot of folks, a lot of creditors, lied to a lot of different folks, on record, on court records, on government regulation. This is all just official court documentation. You can't just deny it. But I do also agree sometimes having someone who has that inner say in the company may potentially go and help on out. But to kind of put this, put a stop on that one, it's a little weird because a lot of folks are now stating that he's now being the CEO still of Celsius for one of these subsidiaries that actually holds the most amount of money. So that's not good. That's not good. So effective immediately, please accept my resignation of CEO of Celsius Network Ltd, as well as my directorships and other positions at each of its direct and indirect subsidiaries. Now this is the important part right here. With the exception of my director position at Celsius Network Ltd. Interesting. I regret that my continued role as CEO has become an increasing distraction, and I'm very sorry about the difficult financial circumstances members of our community are facing. Since the pause, I have worked tirelessly to help the company and its advisors put forward a viable plan for the company to return the coins in the fairest and most efficient way. Now, I am all just, at this point in this, I don't even care who runs the company, who's doing whatever. I just want to go and see money back to the creditors in the best either equity and also return or buyout plan that is possible. So it's kind of crazy to see too, because we've also seen some statements over here where, as you guys can see, some of these different types of companies hold different amounts of value. So the Celsius Network UK over here too as well has a very, very large portion of the assets, such as the STF, Wrap Bitcoin, etc. While Celsius Network LLC in the United States holds a lot of Cell, but not as much Ethereum and other random sources, as you guys can see with this. Same with the finance, the Fireblocks holding, and OTC, mining company, etc., and also custody assets. So it kind of seems like it's very intriguing that there's these different types of, I guess, subsidiaries slash not main big companies over here that, well, are holding a lot of money. So a lot of folks have been calling him out and kind of asking. You can even see like Jay Luke, who had this article here. What about the fact that he's still the director of the biggest LTD that holds more than $1.8 billion of crypto assets? So a lot of folks are trying to figure out what's going on with this, because while he is saying that he's submitting his letter of resignation, he's still a director too involved with a lot of assets. So a lot of folks are kind of being like, we need a little bit more clarity here, especially because we've seen a lot of these other like kind of side things too, especially with the shareholder conversation where he declared his shares worthless. Now, that could still be a good thing. Like, I don't want to instantaneously go and insult the guy or assume bad will, but we also want to have clarification, because it also then had, like, after he declared his shares worthless, a lot of folks out there and other big equity investors, for the Series B investors, were also stating like, hey, we probably own the mining company because we paid for it. So there's a lot of things that look good on the front-facing value, and the UCC also said it was kind of good maybe on their end, but the part two of this is that it might not actually be fully what they're stating, or there could also be some sneaky ties tied on in. So it does kind of seem like Voyager is at least making another step forward. I kind of wish I could see more equity or the finalized plan, and same with Celsius too as well. It does seem like Alex is stepping down. That might also help out long term for a better deal coming out in the near future. So give me your thoughts and comments down below, subscribe if you guys want to, and leave a like if you guys would like. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching in the first place.